What happens when two of the most outspoken women in media clash over royal protocol, media treatment, and the truth? About palace life today, we're breaking down the most explosive moment in recent View history, where Joy Behar pushed Meghan Markle to her absolute breaking point during what was supposed to be a friendly promotional interview. The tension builds from the very first question, escalates through accusations of manipulation, and reaches a climax that left the Duchess of Sussex in tears and stormed off the set. This isn't just another celebrity interview gone wrong. This is a masterclass in how personal grievances can explode into public confrontation. When two strong personalities refuse to back down. Before we dive into this incredible exchange, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop a comment below with your thoughts on celebrity interviews that go too far. Now, let's get into what really happened when Meghan Markle faced Joy Behar's toughest questions. Yet the atmosphere in the View studio feels charged from the moment Meghan Markle takes her place at the table. She's here to promote her latest Netflix project, but Joy Behar has other plans. While the other co-hosts exchange pleasantries about Meghan's outfit and recent appearances, Joy cuts straight through the small talk with a question that catches everyone off guard. "Meghan, I have to ask you something that I think our viewers are really curious about." Joy begins, leaning forward with that familiar intensity. "You've spoken extensively about your struggles with the royal family and the British press, but don't you think there's a pattern here? I mean, everywhere you go there seems to be drama and conflict following you." The studio falls silent. Meghan's smile freezes for just a moment before she recovers, but there's a visible shift in her posture. "I'm sorry, Joy, but I think that's an unfair characterization when you're constantly under attack by tabloids and facing institutional racism. Defending yourself isn't creating drama." Joy doesn't back down. "But here's what I don't understand, and maybe you can help me with this. You knew what you were getting into. When you married Harry, the royal family has been dealing with press scrutiny for centuries. Why is your experience somehow different or worse than what Diana went through, or what Kate goes through? Are you seriously comparing my situation to Diana's, right?" Now Meghan's voice rises slightly, and there's an edge that wasn't there moments before Diana died because of press harassment. "Joy, are you suggesting that I should just accept that level of treatment because it's tradition?" Whoopi tries to interject with a diplomatic comment about media responsibility, but Joy waves her off. "I'm not suggesting anything, Meghan. I'm asking why you seem to think the rules don't apply to you. You wanted the princess lifestyle, you got it, but you also got the responsibilities that come with it." "The princess lifestyle?" Meghan repeats, incredulous. "You think having racist headlines written about you daily is a lifestyle choice? You think having your own family turn against you in the press is some kind of privilege?" Joy shrugs with that characteristic bluntness that her fans love and critics hate. "Look, I'm not saying racism is okay, but let's be honest here. You've made a career out of being a victim first. It was Hollywood not giving you the roles you wanted, then it was the royal family not treating you right. Now it's the American media asking tough questions. At what point do you take responsibility for your own choices?" The other co-hosts exchange uncomfortable glances. This is clearly going beyond what anyone expected for a promotional interview. Meghan's publicist, visible at the edge of the set, looks like she wants to intervene. But Meghan presses forward. "Take responsibility for racism. Joy, take responsibility for institutional gaslighting. You're actually telling me right now that I should take responsibility for the way I've been treated." Meghan's voice is getting stronger, more pointed. "I left everything behind, my career, my independence, my life in America, because I believed in love and duty, and when I tried to serve with dignity while being attacked, I'm somehow the problem. But you didn't leave everything behind, did you?" Joy counters. "You kept the title, you kept the platform, you kept the financial benefits. You just didn't want the actual work or the scrutiny that comes with public service." It's the accusation hangs in the air like a thunderclap. Sunoni, host, tries to change the subject by asking about Meghan's children, but Joy isn't finished. "And another thing, Meghan, since we're being honest here, this victim narrative, it's very convenient, isn't it? Every time you face legitimate criticism it becomes about race or mental health or institutional persecution. But what about accountability? What about the staff members who left your employment? What about the family relationships you've damaged? When do we talk about your role in these conflicts?" Meghan's hands are visibly shaken now. "Whether from anger or emotion isn't clear. My role was trying to survive in an institution that saw me as a threat from day one. My role was trying to protect my mental health while being told that my pain didn't matter because it might make the family look bad. But you're still using that family's name and status to build your brand, aren't you?" Joy pushes, you want independence, but you also want the Duchess title. You want privacy, but you do tell all interviews. You can't have it both ways, Meghan. I earned that title through marriage, just like every other woman who married into that family. And since when is speaking your truth considered using someone? Since when is protecting your family considered manipulation? The tension in the studio is palpable now. Camera operators are adjusting their angles to catch every micro-expression, and the audience seems to be holding its collective breath. Joy leans back in her chair with a satisfied expression, like a prosecutor who's just made a key point. Speaking your truth. Joy repeats mockingly, that's interesting phrasing, because truth is truth, Meghan. It's not subjective. And the truth is, you've built an entire post-royal career on grievances and victimhood. That's fine, that's your choice, but don't expect everyone to buy into it without asking questions. The words hit. Meghan, like physical blows, her composure, which has been cracking throughout the exchange, finally begins to crumble completely. The words hit. Meghan, like physical blows, her composure, which has been cracking throughout the exchange, finally begins to crumble completely. You can see her trying to maintain that practiced royal composure, but her eyes are starting to glisten with unshed tears. The camera catches every micro-expression as she struggles to formulate a response that won't make her appear weak or defensive. Joy, I think you're being incredibly unfair right now, Meghan says, her voice noticeably thinner than it was moments before. You're taking complex situations and reducing them to sound bites that fit your narrative. The reality of what Harry and I went through, what we're still going through, is so much more nuanced than you're making it out to be. But Joy isn't backing down. If anything, she seems energized by Meghan's obvious distress. Nuanced? Let me tell you what's not nuanced, Meghan. Results, and the results speak for themselves. Your relationship with the royal family is destroyed. Your relationship with your own father is destroyed. Half of Harry's oldest friendships are gone. Your staff turnover was legendary. At some point you have to ask yourself, what's the common denominator here? The common denominator is an institution that protects itself at all costs. Meghan fires back, but her voice cracks slightly on the last word. The common denominator is a press system that makes money by tearing down women, especially women of color. You're blaming me for systemic problems that existed long before I came along. Sarah N attempts to interject with something about the importance of mental health awareness, but Joy cuts her off with a wave of her hand. Mental health. Okay, let's talk about that. You've been very public about your struggles, and I respect that, but you've also weaponized it, haven't you? Every time someone criticizes your actions or your choices, suddenly it becomes about your mental health, and everyone has to back off. The accusation is so direct, so brutal, that even the other co-hosts look shocked. Meghan's mouth opens and closes for a moment before she finds her voice. Weaponized it. She repeats, incredulous. Are you seriously accusing me of my own mental health struggles? Do you have any idea how difficult it was for me to admit publicly that I had suicidal thoughts? Do you understand what it costs someone to be that vulnerable in front of the entire world? I understand that it's very convenient timing. Joy responds without missing a beat. Every major criticism gets deflected with a mental health revelation. It's brilliant strategy, actually, because who's going to argue with someone's mental health? But it also means you never have to actually address the substance of the criticism. Meghan is visibly struggling now. Her breathing has become shallow, and she's gripping the edge of the table so tightly that her knuckles are white. You think I'm lying about being suicidal? You think I'm making that up for strategic purposes? I think you're a very intelligent woman who understands how to control a narrative, Joy says coolly, and I think you've learned that certain topics make people uncomfortable enough to stop asking hard questions. But I'm not uncomfortable, Meghan. I've been doing this for too long to fall for media manipulation, no matter how expertly it's done. The studio audience is completely silent now. This has gone so far beyond a typical view disagreement that everyone seems frozen, unsure whether to intervene or let it play out. Whoopi keeps glancing at the producers off stage, but no one seems willing to cut to commercial and break the momentum of what's clearly becoming television gold. Media manipulation, Meghan repeats, and now there are actual tears visible in her eyes. You're calling my trauma media manipulation. You're telling me that my pain, my genuine struggles are just calculated moves in some kind of public relations game. I'm saying that trauma doesn't give you a free pass to hurt other people, Joy responds, and her voice has taken on an almost lecturing tone. Your trauma doesn't excuse the way you've treated staff members, It doesn't excuse the way you've publicly attacked your own family. It doesn't excuse the way you've monetized your royal connections while simultaneously claiming to want nothing to do with the institution. How dare you, Meghan whispers, and the microphones barely pick it up. How dare you reduce everything I've been through to some kind of calculated strategy. You have no idea what it's like to have your every move scrutinized, your every word twisted, your every emotion questioned. Joy laughs, actually laughs, and it's like gasoline on a fire. Are you kidding me? Right now, I've been in media for 40 years, Meghan. I've been attacked, criticized, threatened, and dragged through every conceivable controversy. The difference is, I don't blame everyone else for my problems. I don't play the victim when people disagree with me, because you're not a black woman marrying into the most traditional, most scrutinized family in the world. Meghan shoots back, and now the tears are flowing freely. You don't know what it's like to have people question whether your children deserve titles because of the color of their skin. You don't know what it's like to be told that your pain doesn't matter because it might embarrass the firm, and you don't know what it's like to work your way up from nothing without using your personal relationships as stepping stones. Joy counters mercilessly. You don't know what it's like to face criticism without running away to California and signing Netflix deals. You want to talk about privilege? Let's talk about the privilege of being able to walk away from responsibility when it gets tough. Meghan is openly sobbing now, but she's also getting angry in a way that's making her more articulate, not less. Running away? I didn't run away, Joy. I was pushed out. I was made unwelcome in my own home, in my husband's family, in the country. I was trying to serve, and when I tried to get help, when I begged for support, I was told to keep quiet and smile for the cameras. But you didn't keep quiet, did you? Joy presses. You went on Oprah. You did the Netflix series, you wrote the book deals, you've made millions, talking about how badly you were treated. So forgive me if I'm a little skeptical about this narrative of powerlessness. Those platforms gave me the opportunity to tell my own story, instead of letting others define me. Meghan responds through her tears. For years I stayed silent while lies were told about me, while my character was assassinated in the press. When I finally spoke up, I was cold, calculating, and manipulative. There's literally no way for me to win in this scenario. Joy shrugs with that maddening casualness that's made her both beloved and hated by millions of viewers. Maybe the problem isn't that you can't win, Meghan. Maybe the problem is that you think everything is about winning and losing, instead of just doing the right thing and accepting the consequences. The comment lands like a physical blow. Meghan actually recoils in her chair, and for a moment it looks like she might get up and leave. The cameras are capturing everything from her tear-streaked makeup to the way her hands are shaking as she reaches for her water glass. Doing the right thing, she repeats, her voice barely above a whisper. I tried to do the right thing, Joy. I tried to serve with dignity. I tried to modernize an ancient institution while respecting its traditions. I tried to use my platform to highlight important causes, and for that I was destroyed in the press and abandoned by the people who were supposed to protect me. But you weren't abandoned, were you? Joy continues, relentless in her pursuit. Harry chose you over his family. Your mother-in-law protects you. Your friends in Hollywood support you. You have more allies than most people could ever dream of. But it's never enough, is it? Because what you really want isn't support, it's universal adoration without accountability. The accusation hangs in the air like a bomb about to explode, and Meghan's face cycles through shock, hurt, and finally a kind of desperate fury that suggests she's about to say something that will change the dynamic of this confrontation. The accusation hangs in the air like a bomb about to explode, and Meghan's face cycles through shock, hurt, and finally a kind of desperate fury that suggests she's about to say something that will change the entire dynamic of this confrontation. Universal adoration without accountability. Meghan's voice rises to a level that makes everyone in the studio flinch. You want to talk about accountability? Joy, let's talk about your accountability. You've made a career out of tearing down other women on national television. You've built your brand on being the mean girl who asks the questions nobody else will ask. But when was the last time you looked in the mirror and asked yourself whether you're part of the problem? Joy's eyebrows shoot up. This is clearly not the response she was expecting. Excuse me, you heard me, Meghan continues, and now all the composure, all the careful media training has completely evaporated. You want to psychoanalyze me and my motivations. Let's analyze yours. You're threatened by women who don't fit into your neat little boxes. You're threatened by women who refuse to be diminished by your interrogation techniques. So you tear them down under the guise of asking tough questions. I ask tough questions. Because that's my job, Joy fires back, but for the first time in the interview, she sounds slightly defensive. I don't give celebrities a free pass just because they cry or play the victim card. The victim card. Meghan stands up abruptly, her chair rolling backward. There it is again. Any woman who speaks about her struggles is playing the victim card, according to you. Any woman who refuses to be silenced is manipulative. Any woman who fights back is calculating. Do you hear yourself, Joy? Do you realize how toxic that mindset is? The other co-hosts are completely frozen now. This has gone so far beyond anything they've experienced that no one knows how to intervene. Whoopi looks like she wants to call for a commercial break, but the moment is too explosive to interrupt. Don't lecture me about being toxic, Joy snaps, rising from her own chair. I've been supporting women's rights since before you were born, but supporting women doesn't mean giving them a free pass to behave badly and then blame everyone else for the consequences. Behave badly. Meghan's voice cracks with emotion and fury. What exactly have I done that's so terrible, Joy? I fell in love with a man whose family couldn't accept me. I tried to serve a country that never wanted me. I protected my children from an institution that saw them as expendable. If that's behaving badly in your world, then I'm guilty as charged. You divided a family, Joy shoots back without hesitation. You took a man away from his life's purpose. You monetized private family conversations. You aired dirty laundry on international television for profit. Don't stand there and act like you're some innocent victim in all of this. I divided a family, Meghan repeats, incredulous. The family divided itself. Joy, the family chose protecting an institution over protecting the people in it. I didn't take Harry away from anything. I gave him the courage to choose his own happiness over duty to a system that was destroying both of us. And how's that working out for him? Joy asks with cruel precision. Does he look happy to you? Does he look fulfilled? Or does he look like a man who's lost everything that ever mattered to him? For a woman who can't stop talking about how wronged she's been, the question hits Meghan like a physical assault. She actually staggers back a step, her hand going to her throat, as if she can't breathe. You don't get to talk about my husband like that. You don't get to pretend you know what's best for him, or what makes him happy. I don't have to pretend. Joy responds mercilessly. I can see it. Everyone can see it. He went from being the spare heir who found his purpose in military service and royal duty to being a Netflix personality in California, from someone who commanded respect on the world stage to someone who gets mocked for talking about his trauma on podcasts. You tell me if that sounds like a man who made the right choice. Meghan is crying again, but these aren't the controlled tears of earlier. These are sobs that rack her entire body, and she's making no effort to hide them or compose herself. You're cruel, Joy. You're genuinely cruel. You don't know anything about our private life, about what Harry has told me, about what he's grateful for. You're just another voice trying to tear down our happiness because it threatens the narrative. You've built the only narrative I've built is one based on observable facts, Joy retorts, and the fact is everywhere. You go. Chaos follows the fact is every relationship you touch gets damaged. The fact is you've never once taken responsibility for your role in any of it, because there's nothing to take responsibility for. Meghan shouts, and now she's fully screaming. I fell in love. I got married. I tried to serve. I protected my family when the institution wouldn't. If that makes me a villain in your story, then so be it, but I won't stand here and let you rewrite history to make me the problem. Joy crosses her arms and delivers what feels like a final blow. You know what, Meghan? The fact that you can stand there and claim you have nothing to take responsibility for tells me everything I need to know about your character. People with genuine self can admit when they've hurt others, but you're so invested in being the victim that you can't even see the damage you've caused. The words hit Meghan like a slap across the face. For a moment, she stands there in complete silence, tears streaming down her cheeks, her chest heaving with the effort of trying to breathe through her sobs. The entire studio holds its collective breath, waiting to see what happens next. I'm done, Meghan whispers, and then louder, I'm done with this. I'm done with you. I'm done with all of it. She starts moving toward the edge of the set, her publicist rushing to meet her. Meghan, wait, Tsunoni. Host calls out, finally finding her voice. Let's just take a breath here and no. Meghan spins around, her face streaked with mascara and tears. No more breaths, no more diplomatic responses, no more trying to be the bigger person while people like her tear me apart for sport. Joy, you got what you wanted. You broke me down on national television. Congratulations. I hope it was worth it. The truth is always worth it, Joy calls after her, unrepentant, even as Meghan heads for the exit. And the truth is, you can't handle being challenged. You can dish it out, but you can't take it. Meghan pauses at the edge of the set, turns back one final Timon delivers her parting shot with as much dignity as she can muster. The truth, Joy, is that you've confused cruelty with journalism and bitterness with wisdom. I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for anyone who thinks destroying another human being on television is entertainment. And with that she's gone, leaving the studio in stunned silence. Joy returns to her chair, looking satisfied but slightly shaken. The other co-hosts exchange uncomfortable glances, clearly unsure how to transition back to normal programming after witnessing such a brutal confrontation. Finally breaks the silence. Well, that was certainly intense. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back we'll be discussing the latest in fashion trends with our style expert. But everyone knows that whatever comes next will be anticlimactic. The real story just walked off the set in tears, leaving behind one of the most uncomfortable and explosive interviews in daytime television history. As the cameras cut away, you can see Joy adjusting her jewelry and checking her notes, already preparing for the next segment as if nothing extraordinary just happened. The aftermath of this confrontation will undoubtedly be dissected for weeks to come, with viewers and critics debating whether Joy crossed a line or simply did her job as a journalist. But one thing is certain: this interview revealed something raw and unfiltered about both women, something that carefully crafted public personas usually keep hidden. What did you think about this explosive confrontation? Did Joy go too far with her questioning, or was she right to push Meghan for accountability? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for more breakdowns of the most dramatic moments in television and celebrity culture. The question everyone's asking now is whether this kind of aggressive interviewing is journalism or just entertainment disguised as